This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, and verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah Kodesh. Double honors to our venerable apostles and elders of great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. It's a brother Haran coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing to be edifying and uplifting once the elect. And I'm going to title this, Will You Be Arrested Under the National Defense Authorization Act, otherwise known as the NDAA. Okay. Now, in times past, I have done lessons on this very NDAA Act. All right, but today I'm going to go into something a little different, pretty much the same thing, but a little bit more information. All right, and this is an article that I have that goes all the way back to 2011, and it's very interesting because during the time of Obama, a lot of these things were being put in place. Okay, a lot of things were being put in place for the times that we're about to enter into now. Okay, they did that about a decade ago so that people's minds would not be on it by now, because all they had to do was just set up a system, and over the past few years, just keep building from there. All right, and every new law or every new act or every new bill that they pass, okay, is it further takes away people's rights and further demonizes the truth. Okay, it basically restricts you more and more and more, and criminalizes people who are actually, living a life of fear in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. All right, ultimately is to fulfill the prophecy of Jacob's trouble. All right, is also to fulfill the prophecy in 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter. We're going to get all that. All right, but I want to go into this article real fast. It says, controversy over whether or not Americans are exempt from a provision of the National Defense Authorization Act bill set to be voted on this week by the Senate, which defines the entirety of the United States as a battleground in the war on T standing for terror, has been addressed by Republican Congressman Justin Amash, who warns that the bill does apply to U.S. citizens. Okay, now I did a lesson a couple of years ago. It seems like that's crazy. Time is flying, but a couple of years ago, that the DHS, all right, the Department of Homeland Security here in America, which is a funny little play on words, right? Department of Homeland Security, right? It's another organized gang terrorist group, all right, legalized terrorist group that the U.S. government uses, all right, to control the masses. Okay, I'm not going to say too much about that right now, but they came out with a survey, I guess, right, saying that over 90% of the American population are deemed as domestic teas. Okay, 90%. All right, so now you're starting to see where they're headed with all these different bills that they've been signing for all these years, right? Recently, you had Joe Biden talking about that farmers will have to tag their cattle to make sure that they can pinpoint if they have the BF, the bird flu or whatever, and so on and so forth. And this is something that they've had in the works for years. Okay, ultimately to micro-hip everything on this earth. All right, the animals, and then ultimately the people. Okay, the plants, all that, everything is going to be connected to the digital grid. All right, in some form or fashion. All right, you have the Internet of Things and you have the Internet of Bodies. Okay, so everything they want on this earth to be connected to their digital structure, which is pretty much the beast system. Okay, and every single day, I look up the the biometrics news just to see where we're at. All right. And every single day in many different countries, everyone is so-called taking on this new technology of digital ID. And, the world seems to be changing rapidly towards this new age of digitalization. Okay. Train stations are being changed. Out here in New York City, they got this Omni thing, right? Which Lower and I might probably do a lesson on that as well. The brother sent me an article, going into that, so they're changing everything, man. They're setting everything up where very soon you're going to wake up one day, all right, and it's going to be just a different world altogether, all right, because it's happening every single day. All these new buildings that are being put up, whether it be apartment buildings, whether it be malls, whether it be business buildings, whatever the case may be, they're all being integrated with this new age technology. Okay, every device that you use is catering towards this new age technology. All right, I believe Apple, all right, their new iPhone has some form of technology in there, which is pretty much like RFID compatible technology, right? So everything is leading to that, right? And very soon, those who don't, comply, or at least they object to these kind of new technological advancements, we're going to be deemed straight up domestic teas. They already have us on the list, all right, the red list, that is. So very soon, the Lord is going to open up the floodgates where they're going to try to act on that. Okay, they're going to act on doing away with those who oppose their new world order. Okay, and it's going to be done by violence. That's why we read Isaiah 59:19 to start. Okay, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, because they don't have time. All right, Revelation 12:12 tells you that they don't have much time left. Right, so everything they're going to do is going to be forceful. Okay, hence you have draconian. Okay. Anyway, so let's continue back in the article. It says, and again, like I mentioned, this article goes back to 2011. Okay, so it's not, it's not a new thing. All right, they've been had this stuff, all right, in the works for years. Okay, so it says, as we previously reported, under the worldwide indefinite detention without charge or trial, the worldwide indefinite detention without charge or trial provision of Section 1867, the NDAA Act bill, or the NDAA bill, which is set to be up for a vote on the Senate floor this week. The legislation will, quote, basically say in law for the first time that the homeland is part of the battlefield, end quote, said Senator Lindsey Graham, who supports the bill. That provoked concerns that American citizens could be targeted as terroristas and indefinitely detained without trial or charge. Okay, so then you could throw away your so-called amendments, right? Your so-called my constitutional rights. Yeah, nah, that's not gonna fly. All right, and they've told you that. Klaus Schwab and his minions have told you. You're no longer a person. You're no longer a human being. According to them, right? You're just a useless. You're a useless eater. All right. It says one section of these provisions, Section 1031, would be interpreted as allowing the military to capture and indefinitely detain American citizens on U.S. soil. Right. Section 1031 essentially repeals the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878. By authorizing the U.S. military to perform law enforcement functions on American soil. Okay, now the Posse Comitatus Act, all right, was actually put in place, all right, to stop the military, or at least put a bind on the military from using or performing any type of military activities against Americans on American soil. Okay, but now that's null and void because of the NDAA. Okay, so in a state of emergency or in a time of emergency, again, your constitution is out of the frame. All right, and there will be a time that the constitution is going to be out of frame. All right, it's called martial law. Okay, the time of martial law is also fast approaching, and everything is built into that. All right, when you have no food, all right, and that's coming, famines. right? Because it's biblically prophesied that there's gonna come a time of famines, like the Lord said, right? When you're having all these different so-called natural disasters, right, which is pretty much caused by Esau, Edom anyway, all right, for the most part, by the directions of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to fulfill prophecy, they're going to be the same ones to come out and give that solution. You know what I'm saying? They take everything away from people, they box you in a corner, and then they say the only way for you to actually get that freedom is by complying. Okay, and it's going to be a forceful compliance. That's where the hour of temptation comes in. Okay, that it's almost like there's no benefit to not complying. That's the whole point. Okay, so it says that alone should alarm my colleagues on both sides of the aisle. But there are other problems with these provisions that must be resolved, Colorado Senator Mark Udall said in a speech earlier this month. Following an ACLU alert on the legislation, some pointed out that the text of the bill actually exempts Americans from being detained under the new Homeland Battlefield Homeland Battlefield designation under the proviso that, quote, the requirement to detain a person in military custody under this section does not extend to citizens of the United States, end quote. And that is false. Okay, because remember, if and when Trump comes into presidency again, his mission is to what? Is to fix the country. Okay, everything that so-called Biden has done, he's going to undo. And everything Biden undid, he's going to do or redo. Okay? So it's basically going to be everything going in the opposite direction. And that's all done by design. You see. And he said he's going to use the military to detain and also to deport a lot of these so-called illegal immigrants. Which we know, if you know what's going on, you know that that's just a ploy for them to officially bring in martial law. Okay. It says, however, as Republican Congressman Justin Amash told the Grand Rapids Press today, the language of the bill is, quote, carefully crafted to mislead the public, end quote. All right, and that is something Esau does a lot. Okay, something known as legalese. Okay, legalese is basically language that is used, right, in a legal document. All right, that an average person can't read unless you're an attorney or a lawyer or somebody who understands, that kind of language. Okay, you might be a judge or whatever the case may be. All right, everything is written in a certain type of codes that the average person will read it and get themselves in trouble. Okay, or at least misinterpret what they're reading. All right. It says, quote, note that it does not preclude U.S. citizens from being detained indefinitely without charge or trial. It simply makes such detention discretionary. So it's up to them. It's to their own discretion. Amash wrote on his Facebook page. The controversy over whether or not the text of the bill suggests the legislation applies to U.S. citizens is largely inconsequential, given the fact that every piece of anti-T legislation passed since 9/11 has been used against Americans both at home and abroad. The Patriot Act was passed in the name of giving federal authorities the tools to catch T's or terroristas, but it has been used in hundreds of cases against American citizens, often in cases that have no relation whatsoever to so-called terrorism. All right, so again, now we know that it was just a ploy, right? It says, furthermore, as Ron Paul has pointed out, Anwar al-Awlaki, an American citizen who has never been charged with any crime, was the victim of extrajudicial killing because of the same unconstitutional legalese that defines the entire globe as a battlefield, where the constitutional rights of U.S. citizens are declared null and void if they are designated as terrorists by the federal government. Whoa. See, and they've already put us out there. Hebrew Israelites, all right, the prophets of the Lord, and so on and so forth. All right, I think the Southern Poverty Law Center, this was years ago, but they have us on there, all right, as deemed as a so-called domestic terrorist, right? It says, indeed, National Intelligence Director Dennis Blair openly stated last year that, quote, being a U.S. citizen will not spare an American from getting assassinated by military or intelligence operatives, end quote. How many Americans do you think know that? These people that watch CNN every day and watch whatever the hell the TV is telling them, how do they even know that this is actually something that exists and that very soon is going to affect them? Because most people are going to all go against the system. Okay? When they realize that shit is never going to get better and they've been deceived and lied to and tricked, they're going to turn up. And that's when the Esau going to bring the hammer down. All right, it's called Ordo ab Chao. Okay? It says, recall that Jose Padilla, an American citizen, was held without charge for 3.5 years as an enemy combatant and denied a trial in civilian court after being accused of planning to detonate a dirty bomb, an accusation that was enough to keep Padilla in a military brig for over 3 years, yet was never proven. As far back as December 2002, the Washington Post reported that a parallel legal system had been put in place under the auspices of the war on terror, in which terrorism suspects, U.S. citizens and non-citizens alike, may be investigated, jailed, interrogated, tried, and punished without legal protections guaranteed by the ordinary system. See? This is why it's always important to trust on Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and keep your faith in him, because he's not going to put you through some shit like this, right? And even if he did, you much rather go through that knowing that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is putting you through it, and that means he's going to get you out of it. Okay? So continue, it says, the difference is that the danger of American citizens being detained without trial as terrorists on frivolous pretexts is an even greater danger now, given that the Department of Homeland Security has characterized behavior such as buying gold, owning guns, using a watch or binoculars, donating to charity, using the telephone or email to find information, using cash, and all manner of other mundane behaviors as potential indicators of domestic terrorism. Look at that. So they're creating criminals by these new bills and laws and stupid shit, man. And that's what Esau always does. Okay? So if you're buying gold, you're a domestic terrorist. If you own guns, you're a domestic terrorist. If you're using a watch, binoculars, you donate to charity, oh, that's a domestic terrorist. You're donating to charity now. You're using a telephone or email to find information. You research it. Oh, this guy has potential. That's an indicator right there. He's been radicalized. He's looking stuff up. Right? Using cash. That's a problem now. So this is why we pray how Bashim Yahushua get us up out of here, because this is what they got going on in this present system right now. Imagine how things are going to be if they were actually able to fulfill their so-called New World Order. How would life be? You know, how would there even be life? Hey, that's why Yahushua said, right, that he has to shorten the days for the elect's sake, because if he didn't, then there shall no flesh be saved. You know, how is this place even going to survive these devils, man? If they were to rule for another 30 to 50 years. According to their plans, Agenda 2030 and all these different things. Like, yo. Oh, man. But hey, you know what? This is all biblical prophecy of the times that we're about to enter into. Okay? And the Lord put the perfect vessel, all right, to bring about that perfect judgment. All right, that's Esau, Edom. All right, he's bringing in a lot of different things that's going to cause a lot of people to get judged by thermonuclear fire. Okay, there's a book of Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 7. It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." Okay, he shall be saved out of it, man. All right, that trouble is coming. All right, they're making new laws, they're passing new bills. They're putting out a lot of these so-called legislation, all right, to basically criminalize the average, a regular person. You know, at least if you're awake and you know what's going on, whether you act on it or not, all right, you're being deemed a so-called domestic terrorist, all right, by Esau Edom and his bullshit dumbass logic. Okay, but ultimately it's all because their lies are being exposed, and people are starting to look things up and research things. So now they're trying to demonize anyone who might question anything. You know what I mean? That's just one of their diversion tactics. All right, they're demonic, satanic diversion tactics. All right, but the Lord will deliver us from it. All right, because he says it right here. There's a book of Daniel chapter 12 verse 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book." Okay, so hey, Lord willing, we are of that number. We're going to be delivered. All these things are just part of the test. Okay, the test and the trial of our faith, staring adversity head on and keeping your faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, and knowing that he's going to get you through it. And even if you don't get through it, guess what? That's an automatic crown on your head, man. You know, that's you dying an honorable death. All right, because Trump is saying that when he comes in, he's going to make the death penalty with the guillotine back in style against those who might be so-called deemed anti-Sem. Now they're saying that reading the Bible is pretty much becoming anti-Sem. So who do you think they're coming after? Not so much these people in the churches, because they've been compromised. They be in a church building that is pretty much an institution, all right, that is in bed with the government via signing off on a 501c3, which is a tax exemption. So basically they have certain rules in place. You can't talk about this. You can't say this. You can't do that. Da 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 da. You know what I mean? So they don't need them people. They're looking for those of us who are in the streets teaching the truth of the Bible. All right, exposing these devils, as is written in 2 Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter, that the man of sin will be revealed. All right, in these last days. Okay, so that's exactly what's going on. Another fulfillment of biblical prophecy, and they're trying to block it, but it's not going to work. It's just a futile effort. You know, ultimately, as it says in the book of Job, all right, the 20th chapter, that when he's about to fill his belly, the wrath of the Heavenly Father, all right, shall be rained upon him, basically. Okay, in the fullness of his sufficiency. All right. So yes, they have the right to do what they're doing because the Lord gave them that power. He gave the earth into their hands. But also he's going to deliver us, the elect, from Esau's hands. All right, we believe that. Okay. There's a book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 68. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols." So yes, all right, through this great tribulation that we're about to enter into very soon, that a lot of people can't still see, right? They got the housing crisis going on right now. They got food shortages everywhere. It's like every day is something new to stress people out even more, hit you harder and harder financially to weaken you. So now you're more, you're stranded in a way. You're financially stranded, and that's where they're gonna come in and start, you know, giving suggestions and shit like that, you know. But ultimately, guess what? They're going to be rounding people up, taking them into sea camps and so on and so forth. And they're going to be starting to feed you. Being idle with things offered unto idols is going to be that MOTB. Okay, that MOTB. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot, because it's being pitched to you like it's a beneficial thing. But in reality, It's a device that Esau is using as a form of control. See, so you're thinking, oh yeah, if I take it, if I just comply and I do it, then I'm good. Well, that's what they told you, but that's not what it is, right? It's kind of like I saw this article where they're saying that I forget what state it was. Was it Colorado? I think there was a state that was saying that or was it Montana? I'm mixing the two, and they were saying that the school buses are gonna have the children scan a barcode in order to get on and off the buses, all in order to keep them safe. You know, like it's like little stupid shit like that. But again, when you look at it from the lens of prophecy, these things are necessary because it's leading to the MOTB. It's a whole system overhaul, right? So whatever John saw, which is that beast system, that great system, it's not no small little thing. All right, it's a worldwide thing. Esau has his grip on the world, on the earth, as is written in Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. That's why you see all this wicked vibration, like never before, on the earth right now. You know, I'm not back in the ancient world. Men were not trying to be women, and women were not trying to be men. Now you have that going on to the point where they say men are having kids now, babies. Shit is crazy. You know. Anyway, going back to 2 Ezra 16, verse 69, we're going to read that again. It says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden under foot. Okay? For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. All right, and I believe there's a movie coming out later this year. Damn, the name is slipping me right now, slipping my mind right now, but it's basically going into, I think it's something about the moonlight, some shit, right? And basically, you know, they're going to be coming after those who read the Bible or have Bibles or believe in the Bible and so on and so forth, right? So it's a depiction against those who are, you know, the Israelites, pretty much, right? So those who fear the Lord, there's going to be an insurrection, a great insurrection, all right? One like never before, Jeremiah 30:7. All right, it says, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord, right? So like I said, some believers might be taken through this, okay, but that's okay. The Lord will deliver. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. That's when FEMA is going to be coming in, ransacking people's shit. Because once they deem you as a domestic T, you don't have any constitutional rights. So it gives them the ability to do whatever the hell they want to do to you because you're a terrorist. And then they believe that you can't negotiate with terrorists. So it's a wrap. Okay? It says then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in the fire. Okay? Beautiful, 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 beautiful. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Right? Jeremiah 30:7. For alas, for that day is great, and there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, right? But he shall be saved out of it. Okay, let's get that real fast again. Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay, and that's the key. Okay, that's the key. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire. O hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. All right, so hey, the Lord already spoke it. We just believe it. All right, we believe it and we see it manifest. Okay, it says, verse 75, be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is your guide. All right, and that's a perfect precept to close out with. That matches perfectly with Joshua chapter 1 and verse 9. Okay, also Revelation 3:10. Okay, so it says, Joshua 1:9, have I not commanded thee? Be strong and of good courage. Be not afraid, neither be thou dismayed. For the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, thy power, is with thee whithersoever thou goest. Okay, so yeah, man, you know, I'm ended off there. You know, Lord willing, you were edified and informed. All right, this has been Will You Be Arrested under the National Defense Authorization Act. All right. And some of us will be, but ultimately we keep our faith in Yahweh Bashmi Shai, and he will deliver us. All right. So in closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash, the Wada Yahweh Basham Yahweh Shai. And until next time, Shalom.